Hey, Chem learners. I posted some stuff on Google Classroom and I'd like to share some information about it. So I'm going to do a screen share here. All right. So there I am in the corner. Hi. All right. If you noticed on Google Classroom, I'm in period 6, but really all the periods are the same. First of all, there's this chemistry daily check-in. I see that quite a few of you guys have been doing that, so thank you. Also, if you notice on the check-in at the top, there is frequently asked questions. I'm going to update this with what you guys ask me every couple days, and that's in this document right here. So look at this. Okay, so the past few days I've had 6 questions here, and on the right hand side I attempt to answer them. I can't answer all of them, but I will do my best to answer them. I do want to tell you one cool question here. Let me fix this. Is this one, ideas to be more motivated, and I'm going to get ideas from you guys, kind of crowdsource, and get information down in here if you want some ideas of what your peers are going to be doing. So I wanted to share that with you first. The next thing I wanted to share with you is I've posted 2 things under distance learning. By the way, I'm under classwork, so if you're on your phone and you're at the stream section, you know it looks like this, but if you go to classwork and you look under distance learning, I've got 8 ongoing self-assessment document. So this is pretty hefty. This is kind of a lot, so bear with me. I told Google Classroom to make a document for you. Hopefully that worked, and your document up here should have your name on it, and you should be able to edit it, and then I can see everybody's document. So if you notice this green section, there are standard 1 through 8. These are going to be the things that we're going to be learning over probably the next 4 weeks. I'm going to try and focus on just experience 1, which is standard 1 and 2 this week. And I'm going to have you guys work on a self-reflection or self-assessment. So here's the standards, and the title of the assignment, you are going to be given, I think there's 10 assignments here, and I've filled them all in because I'm actually planned for this one. And right now you notice the self-assessment score is 0. And then you notice an explanation or reflection. And I'm only going to ask you guys to reflect on 2 assignments of your choice. So now, where do you get these assignments? If you go back to Google Classroom and you notice that I put this Pearson Investigation Experience 1, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Sorry for, at the beginning, it's the teacher view. So let me get to the student view here. Okay. So when you look at Pearson, you see Investigation Aid Experience 1, and there are 8 different things that I've assigned to you. These coincide with these 8 things on your self-assessment. I do want to point out the e-text, which is the mole concept. I can't control that it's the 7th item. I would really recommend doing this first, which, by the way, you guys, this is just, wait a minute, where did you go? Share screen. Oh, darn, I just talked about a million things and you didn't see any of them. Sorry about that. All right, let me do this again. So here's the 8 things that you're going to see, and these coincide with these assignments right here. The e-text, the mole concept, is 7th on your list down here. This is the equivalent to your workbook that everybody left at school because we didn't know we were going to be gone forever. So basically, this is the same thing as your workbook or textbook. And you know how you guys write in your textbook and I ask you to do everything that's in it? I'm going to ask you to do that, but it's all digital. So it's actually pretty cool. You can type in your own version of the textbook, and then I get to see what it is that you type. So these 8 assignments are here. There is going to be this shortened inquiry lab. Unfortunately, I can't actually have you do a lab. So tomorrow I will post pretend data for that lab and ask you to analyze that. So if you're looking at this evening, which is Monday, April 13th, you could probably look at the lab background. You could look at this lab demo video. Just know that I would stop after 1 and 2. And then, of course, you can work on the textbook. And honestly, I think it might be valuable to do the textbook first before you do the lab. So maybe attempt to do this first and then jump back up to these 2. And then tomorrow, Tuesday, April 14th, I will post something here. Now, I want to go back to this ongoing, won't let me go, ongoing self-assessment. Hold on, it won't let me click on it. There we go. Okay, don't. So let's pretend you did the textbook. And I want you to see how this is bookmarked to a little rubric within this document. So right now I've put zeros and everything, and what 0 stands for is I've not started learning this standard yet. And then you need to rate yourself about that activity. Is it a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4? So if it's a 1, I'm in the process of learning the standard by doing this assignment. So that might be something like the e-text, or I'm going to post a lecture here probably tomorrow or Wednesday. So that would be a learning type activity. So you would give yourself a 1. Or maybe you've already read the textbook and then you listen to my lecture and there's some new stuff that you're learning, but there's also some practice that's building your confidence. And then practice for your confidence. Maybe you give yourself a 3. You already know about stuff, but you're doing the lab or you're writing the CER. Maybe you're doing practice problems. Those might be considered 3, where you're like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, but I need to get better at it and build my confidence. So you'd give yourself a 3. And then finally, if you start to do things and you realize this is a waste of my time because I already know how to do this, you're really confident in the standard, and you can say to yourself, honestly, I'm ready for an assessment, that's when you'd give yourself a 4. So there is the rubric for assessing. Let me get back up to this right here. So see how there's zeros? You guys are going to be changing those to 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, depending. And then, of course, I'm asking you to reflect on 2 of these assignments. Questions you can ask yourself, so you could jump down to possible questions. I've given you 5 questions that you can reflect upon. Why'd you give yourself the score? What details in your work support the self-evaluation score? What does this piece of work show about your strength as a learner? What aspect of the skill or standard are you still working on, or are you still struggling with? And then what specific support would help you continue to develop this skill? And what this reflection is, it's more for you than for me, but I can also look at it and try to help you if I can. So back up to the top here. Once you've completed these 8, I think there's actually 10 assignments, because the video lecture isn't part of Pearson, and then Chem, Matter, and Change textbook problems, that's from the book. Here, this book. Remember this one? Oh, the lighting's bad, but this book. So you all should have that one at home, and I'll give you practice problems there. So once you've done all that, if you notice here, it says, I am ready to show mastery on standard 1 and 2. So sometime Thursday or Friday, depending on where you guys are at, I will give you a first attempt at a quiz. That'll be through Pearson also. You'll get a score, and then I'd like you to reflect on that score. What do you need to do more, if anything? Also, I'm going to have you guys attempt to do Flipgrid. I don't know if you've done Flipgrid in any of your other classes, but sometimes you don't do that well on quizzes because maybe they're tricky wording, or you got nervous, or you just didn't perform as good as you thought you would have, but you feel like you still know the standard. So Flipgrid is a way for you to verbally explain to me, and maybe you could show me some work if it's something like you need to convert something on a piece of paper, and you can put that video camera up to the piece of paper. Flipgrid is a lot easier to do if you have a phone, although it can work with a camera on your computer. I'll give you a second attempt on the quiz, and then if you feel like you still would like to show me that you know the standard verse in the form of writing, you could write me a CER, and your claim would be something like, I know the standard blank because of whatever reason you want to show me, and then you would write your CER to prove that. Okay, so that is the first standard 1 and 2. If you look up here this week, we're going to do all those 10 assignments. You're going to be reflecting on the assignments as you do them in this self-assessment document. And then you'll have a quiz, and then we'll be done with that. And then I will determine whether you have actually mastered that content or not. Maybe you need more practice, and we can discuss that on a case-by-case basis. Then I'm going to have us hopefully sometime next week, although you know me, I plan way too much and it might take more time. But when we get to experience 2, I have already copied and pasted the template. Here it is. This is experience 2 because you'll be learning standard 3 and standard 4, but notice how there's no assignments. So you guys are going to have to start filling in the blanks for standard 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that is how you use this. And let's see, is there any other questions I wanted to go over? No, I think. So I think that's it. I'm sure I forgot something. And if you would like to ask me questions, you can always email me, or I think you can post in the stream for Google Classroom. If you can't, somebody tell me, because I can't tell what you can and can't do. All right, you guys, I hope you're doing well. Have a good day. Good night.